we're going to go on to try. There you go. Say, got it. All right. So what I like to do when I'm working with people, certainly new group, new members joining in, is to just take a few moments and do a unity prayer. And what that does is just set the intention that we are all here for the same purpose and reason, to serve humanity, to bring a greater awareness to what is happening in our world. The things that we can contribute are obviously important, but also just the idea that each as an individual holds a piece to this grand puzzle that the Creator has put together on this planet called Earth. And never consider that your little piece to the puzzle isn't essential or important, sacred, or relevant, because right now more than ever, humanity is waking up. And with that awakening comes a lot of questions that most of us have already been through. We've all journeyed this far, and we're well awake and aware that things are changing rapidly. And with some of those changes come great opportunities, but also great technologies. And these technologies are about to change our world in a very profound way. And part of the role that I see us playing is helping people prepare themselves for those changes, to be awakened and educated to how to go about it, the various ways and means that we have of bringing our soul and our being into alignment, so that that piece of knowing that healing is possible, and not just healing on one level, but healing on every level. Our DNA is more than capable of being reconstructed to the original blueprint. And truly, at the base of everything that we're going to be sharing tonight, that is our focus, that is our purpose. So if we're all just in that sense of one vision, one intention, one moment, one breath, and we all come together to learn together, to share together, and to just be together as human beings on a quest for a better world. So with that, I welcome you all and say thank you for showing up, for coming. And no matter what your vision is, where you're starting tonight, I hope by the end of it, that we can expand that vision and that awareness to inspire you. I think we could all use a little inspiration, and definitely some direction at this point. We all need to know where this is all going and what can we do? Just as one single individual, thinking that, how can I make a difference? Well, my challenge to you today is, how can you not? Knowing what you know, doing what you do, being who you are, how can you not make a difference? So with that, let's get started. So I'm going to introduce myself first. My name is Donna Hamilton, and I have been doing this work, as I now realize, my entire life. But most of what has happened has been since I was in my 30s. And I started one of the very first healing centers that was a combination of therapists. I know it was the first in Canada. I'm not sure if it was the first in North America. It really doesn't matter. To me, I'm extremely proud that I was one of the first to bring various therapists and therapies and philosophies and practices together to operate under one roof. We all knew at some point that we couldn't afford to do it individually, because the alternative therapies, when they first started out, were unheard of, for the most part unsupported. And it was a very long road of awakening and educating people into seeing things differently, knowing that there were solutions and answers that were operating well outside of the medical system that got profound results. So I'm really proud to have been a pioneer in that field. So from there, the journey kind of fast forwards to 2 years ago. And when all of this started with the whole COVID idea, it really did set the world back into a panic. And we all saw the changes that were happening in our families, in our communities, in our work world. Everything changed dramatically in a very short period of time. I had the direction or the inspiration to be introduced to a man called Dr. Charlie Ward. And some of you may be familiar. Just put your hand up if you know Charlie. Anybody know Charlie? Yeah. Charlie's a pretty incredible guy. Lots of controversy around Charlie. But I have to say that Charlie really is the first one that brought to the public awareness that things going on behind the scenes were being intentionally and deliberately done. And as part of that, he set out to seek out the truth behind the scenes, the truth behind the masks, the truth behind the deception that was going on. And he very quickly escalated from when I started following Charlie on his walks on the beach. I think he had about 1,800 followers. And within a very short period of time, he hit 100,000. And we thought, wow, Charlie, that's incredible. Well, in that 2-year period, Charlie is now over 18 million people following him, because he has brought together a network of people who all have the same intention. Let's find the truth. Let's find a way to help each other, to heal each other, to rebuild our world, our countries, our communities, and most importantly, our families, because a lot of what it was happening in families, the division of what was being done was breaking it down to the point where even families could no longer stand and sit together. Personally, I experienced that in being uninvited to my own family Christmas because I refused to be, I didn't wear a mask. My sons offered me that they would, go and get a test that I could have done. I said, no, thank you. I don't do tests. So we all know the things that have happened, and we're looking forward to bringing a place where the world can come to find a way to heal and restore what has been shattered, not just broken, but literally shattered. And when we see the kind of things that our world needed to experience to change, a shattering was actually required, because nothing that was there for the point of balance, for the reason of fairness or kindness. It certainly wasn't there for prosperity. So Charlie introduced me to a whole lot of information. But one of the things that he mentioned within about 2 or 3 months of me listening to what he was sharing, he had someone come on and talk about med beds. Now, is there anybody here that has never heard of a med bed? Just put your hand up. Okay, so there's a couple that haven't heard about med beds. This is technology that was gifted to the world over 200 years ago through Tesla. It was gifted to the world by a community from off-world, we'll call them off-worlders, that knew humanity was in desperate need of healing if they were going to survive. So that technology was gifted to humanity through Tesla, and his technology was built back then, and the intention was that humanity would have access to it. Unfortunately, those that were more concerned about having control of everyone were very committed and determined not to allow it. So they took the technology and they took the ability for humanity to have access to it. So med beds are these incredible units that we are able to actually use at this point. They are going to be available soon. And as far as the details on the different types of med beds, I'm going to ask that you go ahead and look on our website. We've gone to a great deal of trouble and effort, 9 months of birthing this puppy, so that we could help people understand and to be able to read and be very comprehensive of how the med beds work and what they are, what they can do. But I assure you that if you haven't already heard of them, you're not aware of them, that's the best possible read that you will ever have, and it is covered very clearly on our website. So that's Charlie. Charlie is also in charge of the quantum system monetary fund. And again, that's a whole concept. If you're not familiar with it, it's a good thing to look up. The quantum system is the new monetary system that the world is already hooked up to. It is already actively working. It has not been made public as of yet because there's still some glitches in the banking system where the money, when it is put into the system, is still being grabbed by the banking system. People who are less than honorable about funding and finance. We know there's a lot of them out there, and they have the majority, or have had the majority of the funding that has ruled the world. So in that change is going to come taking the actual funds and assets of those who have been controlling the world and putting them into a fund called the Humanitarian Fund. Right now, the Humanitarian Fund is fully loaded and ready for projects that people can submit to. We are not the only project. There's hundreds of thousands of projects that are being submitted for funding. But the good news is that if your intention is, and the idea of what you are doing is supporting humanity's recovery, most specifically within your communities and families, that has been given priority. And there is no limit to that funding. There's so much money in that funding. My understanding is we couldn't possibly spend it all if we tried. So most of us coming from a place of having to work really hard. I don't want to say struggle, because that's part of the past, but there are some that still have the struggle concept within them that needs to heal, that you are not worthy of, capable of, or can work hard enough to get ahead to the point where you are financially independent. That is all about to change. We are weeks, if not days, away from that change coming. Again, if you have any questions on that, I'm happy to fill you in. This is not the night nor the time for that. But what I can assure you is that what we are building is global. It's not just community, although that is where we will begin this process. It is for everyone on the planet. It's not just for some, not just for a select few, and certainly not for the elite. They've had their time and they've had their fill till there's nothing left that they can control or hang on to. So again, there's lots of information on that. I won't go into it tonight. So Charlie Ward has been a huge key in this journey for me, in the awakening process of what's really going on behind the scenes. Simon Parkes is another one. Anybody here heard of Simon Parkes? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Simon Parkes has dedicated his life to creating new communities. And in these new communities, it is all built around natural health and wellness, alternative therapies, prosperity for all, teaching people how to garden, how to grow food, how to share food, how to support and care for each other, from infants to the aged. Everyone deserves to have proper care, plenty of food, lots of support when it comes to any dreams or desires that you have. Every human being has the right to experience a life that is filled with opportunity. And Simon now has funding coming from the Humanitarian Fund. He's one of the first. He has set up communities all over the planet. Some of them are up and running, some of them are in the process of being set up. He is also going to be working with the medbeds. That is part of what he has committed himself to. And the funding is going to be there to make sure that the communities that he is supporting and creating will have the medbeds available for everyone to enjoy. Now, the one thing I will tell you about medbeds that you may or may not know, just a little sidebar here. A full treatment and a full restoration of somebody's illnesses, disease, organs, and systems can be achieved and accomplished in less than 30 minutes. So it's not about worrying about, how long will it be till I can get an appointment, and there's too many people and there may not be enough time and all of this. I assure you, every single human being is going to have the opportunity to have this experience. But in order to experience it, they need to be in a certain state of awareness and awakening so that they actually value and understand what it is that's being gifted to them. Yes, that's pretty much about Simon, although there's a lot to tell about him. He's in charge of global conscious communities, and you can find him online. He's very, very popular on YouTube and on BitChute. The other one is a little less obvious and a little more mysterious, and that is a wonderful woman called Sky Prince. Sky Prince is from Australia. She's a little Aussie that's just full of life and vitality and an awareness of exactly what the med beds are and what they can do. She has actually worked with the space program that has had the med beds off the planet for a period of time now. She's been able to work and be trained on how they work. She's also had the experience of having had a treatment. So she really comes from a place of authentic and genuine information. She's been willing to share it, has taken taken a lot of flack and beatings because, you know, this is new. Not that it's new to the planet, but it's new to the awareness of people that this opportunity of simple, profound healing has been here for 200 years and we weren't told. So on that level, she's pretty fired up. And you can find her again on YouTube or BitChute. She's well worth listening to if you can get a hold of some of her former videos. Again, a good place to fill in your understanding and your education about the system and how it works. Okay. So from there, I think I'm just going to introduce my admin team. And these are a group of women that have stepped forward in this time. Yeah, they're classified as warriors. They're classified as brave hearts and souls that, although typically we tend to be ridiculed and made fun of, it didn't matter to any one of these. As I put out the call for people to come and support and be a part of what I was building, they all showed up without any hesitation. They came. Many have come and for whatever reason didn't feel that they were ready for or resonated with or had time to work with what was going on. But these women committed themselves to it and they came. And what I think I'll let Yvonne show each one of them, and I'm going to do a little personal introduction. And on your chat, you're going to get to see some of the things that each of these women have been contributing to the process and will continue to be a part of going forward. So hi, Helen. Yeah.
Close up.
Yes, close up and personal. Yes. Helen is a very dear friend of mine, started out as a client and then a student, and I can very proudly say she's a colleague now that does brilliant work in the field of spiritual alchemy. She has the ability to attune to those who have crossed over, as well as those that are present in life today. She's committed herself to many, many different ways of preparing people for the journey of life, and does it in what I can only call a humorous, dynamic, intuitive, fun way. And she just cracks me up most days. And I know that in the light of what people are facing these days, a little bit of humor goes a long way. So thank you, Helen. And I am really enjoying working with you.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. Okay, who do we have next? So we'll do Yvonne. Yvonne is the miracle worker behind the scenes. She is responsible for doing a lot of the web work, a lot of the organization, and definitely editor-in-chief of all things wordy. Without Yvonne, I'm sure a lot of what gets sent out from our office would have to have an interpreter at the other end. So I'm really, really glad that she is able to do that. But I think that's sort of the least of her gifts. The greatest of her gifts is her ability to bring joy and childlike nature to people's experience, to see them as they are, to know that who they are and why they are really doesn't matter as long as they just get to be the best that they can be. And I've known Yvonne probably the longest of everyone. We started out a very long time ago, again, student and then colleague. Been there in and out of my life when things were rough and tough for both of us, stood the test of time. So you know that those kind of people are few and far between. And having her stand beside me right now is truly an honor. So I thank her all the time for that, but she has a hard time accepting thanks. So next.
Next is Angelina. Let me see. I'll move out of the way.
Hang on a minute.
There she
There
is.
she is.
Angeline, but we like to call her Angel because that's what she's been. She has stepped into the role of administrative process organization, keeping it real, keeping us humble, being willing to point things out when it needs to be changed or it needs to be expanded in vision. She's a great visionary. She's an incredible energy worker. There isn't anything that she won't do or hasn't been able to do when asked. And again, the kind of energy and effort that she puts into everything she does is extraordinary. So I know she likes to think of herself as an ordinary person, but in my eyes and in my heart, she's pretty extraordinary. So thanks for being a part of it, Angel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Donna.
Kit is next.
Okay, here she is. Kit is our energetic light that just pops in and out every once in a while to bring joy and laughter to our world. She's an incredible body worker who absolutely loves the concept of working with the body and nature together. And that combination, I think, is a passion that she can really bring a lot of help and direction to people who maybe aren't as connected to nature as they should be. She's a wonderful emissary of building that bridge between human nature and Mother Nature. And I just can't wait to see what she's going to do with her groups, because I can see behind those sparkling eyes that she's got things planned, and it's an adventure. So yeah, can't wait to see where that goes, and who else is willing to jump on board and be a part of her team to do that. So thanks, Kit.
Thank you, Donna.
Oh, there we have Karen, the feisty Karen. Karen has been an incredible inspiration for a lot of people for a lot of years. We actually met on Facebook because I was just always fascinated by her wit and her charm and her ability to call it like it is, to make it real, to bring the best out in people. She's an energy worker. She's an animal lover. And I really see going forward that with the medbed situation, the animal side of it is also going to be available. And that as we are being able to bring people forward to heal them and bring them into balance, it's only fair and it's only kind to bring the animals along. Animals will not necessarily be in a med bed, because I can see that a recipe for chaos. So they have chambers that they put the animals in, any size from insect to elephant. So that's going to be exciting, and that will also be a part of our work going forward. We'll see where that fits in as we kind of expand on what's being done. So thank you, Karen, for always just being there and making life such a joy. Susan, you little warrior princess freshly back from Ottawa. Oh, Susan has so much to offer, and she just can't wait to get at it. It's like she's a young horse in a race where she's just all pent up waiting to take off, and she just can't wait for humanity to be ready for what she's bringing to it. And it's exciting to watch her as she brings various components of body work and breath work and energy work and just incredible insight for movement and what the body is capable of and how beautiful it can be when it accepts motion. You know, we put that together with emotion and motion, and we get Susan. That's what it looks like when you put the two together. So thanks for being aboard, Susan. It's a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome. And we have Mina, I think, still coming. There she is. Hello, Mina. Yeah.
Hi,
Yes.
welcome everybody.
Yes. Yes. We're very glad that you could be here. I know you're not feeling well, so we really appreciate that you took the time and the effort to join in tonight. So that shows the warrior spirit that you also have. And I see it every day with the different things that you do and contribute. Mina has been very busy bringing together a vision of a healing center, what that would look like, what is needed, what is necessary. This is part of her gift and ability to the world, where she sees buildings like some others see people. She sees what's needed. She sees where the balance is. She sees where the space needs to be, where life needs to be breathed into it. All the details. She's absolutely incredible. I haven't known Mina as long as the others, but I got to tell you, she brings a lot to the table, and I can't wait to see where it all goes when that funding comes through and we're able to just build our dream. It's a big dream, and I know that your little shoes are more than capable of filling that big dream. So thanks, Mina, for being a part of it.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so that is our team so far.
Oh,
What we-
Donna,
Oh yeah, come on, Yana.
yeah, because I've got your partners. I don't know if Delene's
Yes.
on the call, so.
Oh, okay, so Yana's here, so we're going to give a shout out for Yana. Yana has been part of my life for a very long time. Again, a student, a colleague, a friend, a neighbor at one point, but we lost her to North Bay in this last year. And Yana's busy building a whole new community up there in North Bay, which I do know is going to be one of the MedBed area centers, whether it's there or in, close to that in Sudbury. It's all going to be an area that's going to need much in the way of community. So we call Yana a partner. She's not always able to be with us in this area, but she's always with us in heart and spirit. And Yana works a lot with movement, breath, and dance. She's the most fabulous reflexologist I have ever met. And getting any kind of body work or massage from Yana is exquisite. That's the best word I can use. It's exquisite. She really does tune into the body on all levels. And now, as she's become a specialist in essential oils and adds that to the process, there's nothing like it. And I'm really hoping that at some point Yana will become one of our instructors to teach others to do what she does. Take special shoes to be a part of that circle, but I know she'll find them. That's why God sent her to the north, because he knew that she could find the ones that would be needed. So thank you, Yana, for being a partner. Okay. And I see that Delene has not been able to make it tonight, but that's okay. You'll get to meet Delene maybe at another time. So that's my team, and that's where it comes into looking for other people who are willing to be a part of our team. It's really essential that we have the best quality of integrity and honor, dignity and grace, that you have a desire within your heart to serve humanity on probably one of the most profound service missions that we've ever had on this planet. I know civilization has developed well beyond our technology before, but it all fell apart because people could not and would not learn to work together to make it happen. So we're really looking for team members that resonate with what we're doing, where we're going, what's happening. The vision that we're holding is extensive. And Yvonne, if you want to just bring up the mind map, we're going to show you the blueprint of what this whole process is all about and how many directions we are covering when it comes to people and healing processes. So if you have a quick look at this mind map or this chart, you're going to see that there's different categories that people can contribute to. Some of you may overlap with different components. Others may feel that you are more specialized or aligned or passionate about one more than the other. But we have at the top mental healing. We know that there's lots of different ways that people can be helped in that regard. When there's counseling, code work, and limiting belief work. If there's any other work that you have that we have not included here that you would like to bring to the table, please let us know. We're more than willing to add it in. When it comes to physical healing, Physical healing is one of the most complex components of our services with this healing center. A lot of the work that needs to be done includes hereditary work, which means your DNA, your programming, your patterning within has a very profound effect on your physical body and how it's designed, how it functions, how it works or doesn't. So that's a lot of the passion that I have working with hereditary work. It's done through body code work and emotion code work. Energy work, of course, is always one of the most popular forms of physical healing. Meridian work, getting into acupuncture and different forms of body work. So as you're looking at these charts, you can really see where some of them overlap with different things that you are probably trained in or interested in. And that's okay. It doesn't mean that if you pick one, that's it. We are very flexible and diverse when it comes to helping people and matching you up with people that need the different things. Detox protocols when it comes to dietary nutrition, products and supplements, systems and cleansing. This is going to be needed more than ever as we enter into the phase of our physical transformation. We have a lot of detoxing to do. And there's a way of doing it gently that is effective. Most times people not knowing or understanding the process can put themselves into detox crisis. So it is something that we need very specific people whose passion is this, that can walk people through and help them do a cleanse of the body. Not just to do it once and say, oh, good, you're clean, good to go, tap, move on. But to teach them how to take care of their body, how to understand their body, and how to support that through the detox protocols. When it comes to detoxing, we know that it needs to be done seasonally. In the spring, it's kidney detox. In the summer, it's liver. In the fall, it's parasite cleansing. And in the winter, it's heavy metals. And I have found that when we work with that rhythm, and we work with nature, it does make the process a little less stressful and supports the systems more gently. Okay, emotional healing, my specialty. Comes from a lot of research people, let me tell you. I have probably been emotionally shattered in about every way that's possible during my life experience. And I know that's my research and I get that, but oh my God, I didn't have to know every single detail, really, but apparently I do. So I am very proficient at energy work called divine energy work. It's very similar to Reiki, although different, and does tend to go deeper into the actual physical energetic body in being able to clear encodements, any kind of things that are working hereditary inside the body. Counseling is also very important with emotional healing. We know in the past that psychologists have made a very good living at pointing out people's faults and flaws and helping them understand that with a certain medication that can all go away. Well, we know how that works and how that ends. The preference that we have is to work with people through hypnosis, trauma work. Trauma work is also going to be an extremely important component of this. We're going to need a lot of therapists set up that are able to work with people with sexuality issues, grief and loss, PTSD, and certainly children coming forward with a lot of the autistic and energetic distortions that they have been put through the vaccination process. Once they have the ability to bring that all into alignment, we know through the medbed experience, this can all be reversed completely, but then they have to be worked with and helped to understand how to live differently. It's especially when it happens at such a young age, that's all they've known. So rebuilding their awareness, rebuilding their perception, rebuilding their alignment to what is whole and wholeness is a very important part of our work. So if you're someone who enjoys working with children, our team could really use your help. Code work, again, going into current life situations where we have emotional encodement that happens whenever there's a trauma that happens to us physically, mentally, or emotionally. It is recorded in the body. And the more of those that we have, the more stressed our systems become, the more our immune system no longer functions. So being able to clear those energetically is important. The other work that I have found fascinating, I've been working with code work now for a few years, hereditary. And to watch someone who has hereditary tendencies for emotions, be it abusive behavior or abandonment issues, sexuality issues, whatever is recorded in one lifetime when unresolved is being transferred to the next lifetime and the next and the next. And having worked with people, being able to clear this has been extraordinary, because what happens when you clear it in you on the DNA level, on the energetic level, it goes back and clears your genetic bloodline, both behind and in front. And I have witnessed this time and time again, to watch the relief and the release that happens of entire generations through this hereditary code work. So that is one of my passions. All right, let's keep moving. Financial healing, we all know we could use a little bit of that. Certainly we've been programmed and taught to believe that financially struggle seems to be the way to get ahead, unless you're born with a support system that comes from a financial well-off family. We all know that finance has been an extremely hard thing to cope with. It affects the quality of life, the joy of life, the fulfillment of life, the opportunity of life. It's all sort of encapsulated into this financial blueprint that we hold. Again, some of it can be hereditary. It can be released through energy work, reprogramming beliefs, code work, both past and present. We have several that are willing to work in this, but I feel that this is also going to be one of the busiest components of releasing people, because once the funding becomes available to everyone on Earth, they're going to need to know how, and they're going to need some direction, some assistance and guidance in how to correct these financial illusions that we've all been living in. Okay, moving to the pink. Inner child work, absolutely essential. And it's not just for children, it's for that child in each and every one of us. Code work definitely works with that in past lives, also through regression therapy. I have seen children that when I do code work on them, that the codes actually say it has nothing to do with this lifetime. And we start tracing it back, and I've seen it go back, 50, 60, 70 generations, where this whole inner child has never, ever matured. So as much as the body continues to grow and develop, and in technical terms, they should be old enough to know better, at heart, these people are no more than 3 years old emotionally, and they cannot handle life. They cannot function in life, and they certainly can't enjoy life. So creating some healing and relief in that is extraordinary. Subconscious work, hypnosis and programming. I know we have one specialist in the house tonight that has a lot to share with that, and I would like to see her step forward as a team leader. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, hint, hint. You know who you are. But again, it has to come from the heart, and it has to be something that you commit yourself to on every level. The other one is archetypes. Yvonne is actually quite good at this. I'm not 100% familiar with all of the work that archetypes do, except that it does, I help you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, the ways that you can help yourself, the ways that you can work with yourself that are different, that just make life a little easier in making decisions and choices and moving forward. So we're going to call that an essential service. Okay. Spiritual awareness. I don't think any of us are strangers to that. We have all been definitely awakened, or our eyes have been opened to the importance of spiritual life and how the alignment of the spirit to the source of our creation is essential to the success of any human being, how they live, how they see life, how they integrate into community or not. Sometimes spiritual awareness means I do not want to have anything to do with humanity. Thank you very much. That's not going to work going forward. If we're an evolving human race and our collective conscious is going to expand to the next level, we need to be able to be okay with ourselves and each other on every level, and truly respect that, you know, things that we have done in the past, some of it has worked, most of it hasn't. Being willing to admit that and to enjoy transforming that into the new awareness, the new level, I think is one of the exciting parts of what we'll be teaching. And the integration process. The integration process has more to do with really seeing where people are and assessing them before they go through the program. We have a questionnaire that is sent out to help kind of direct us in a way that helps us see what their primal needs are, their primary, their essential needs, where they need to start first. I call it the harmonic sequence, because technically speaking, as humans, we have shut down in a certain order. If you look at the chakra systems as energy systems, they do shut down or dim or be limited in a certain order of how the trauma drama happened. So being able to reactivate that and to balance and heal that is important before the session, and certainly after the session. A lot of the people that I have talked to are all excited about what happens before and the idea of what happens the day of the transformation treatment. But few take into consideration what happens after the fact. What happens when you climb out of the med bed and your 68-year-old body is now 30 years old? Yes, we're all going to want to go out and dance and have a good time, party it up, and have a really wild night of sex or whatever. But somewhere in there, there's a lot of other things that need to be able to change in order for us to value the gift that we've been given, to understand how life is meant to unfold differently than it did before, and to be able to step forward and take responsibility for your own balance and wellness from that point on. So before and after sessions are what we call the integration sessions, and they're very important. Ooh, we just went full blown. There we are. Okay. So I think that pretty much covers all of the different aspects that we have. I'm sure that we will have more to add. This has been building now. Again, like I said, I've been working at this for a very long time. This vision, as you see it in front of you, was given to me by God. And you want to call it God, creator, source. It doesn't matter what name you give to the energy that created you. It's being able to understand the significance of what it means and how to be able to put it into a format or vision that people can understand and comprehend so that they can become a part of it. We are quantum healers. Quantum healers is all about the quantum field that is unlimited. It's something that we are moving into energetically, vibrationally, and frequency-wise. The 369 is very much a reference to the Fibonacci spiral. If you haven't read anything about that or understand the concept of that, it very much plays a role in quantum energy. So it's just seeing all of these things. This is a human being that's in front of you right now in full color. And to see it come into harmony and alignment, attunement, and balance is something that I feel is extraordinary. And I can't wait to watch people becoming part of this and seeing people graduate from this and families moving forward into a new life because of this, and communities developing around that, supporting this new way of being, living, and healing, so that it all just expands the vision that I was given into the kind of human race that God created us to be. That's our original blueprint. That's us. And it excites me, and it really does. Okay, I'm watching time and we're doing okay. So I will go into a little bit of the different steps that this whole concept is going to be taking as we evolve and grow. The first step, or phase one, is going to be setting up healing in your own home, in your own area. If you already have a healing place that you go to work, it's being able to take clients where you're already set up. Before the funding comes in, we really are having to do this on a smaller scale, personal scale, and your private healing practice is going to be able to kind of incorporate your part of the vision and bring it forward. It would be helpful if you were able to create Zoom contacts. I know some of you are body workers and that doesn't work. For body workers, what I'm going to suggest is that you work with us in being able to create either a video or some sort of Zoom presence where you can work with people by explaining from home what they can do, what they are able to do until things open up so that we actually are fully interactive again. So there's a little bit of a slower start with this, and that's probably just as well so that we can all grow into it gently instead of just jumping in with both feet. I don't think that's healthy for the therapists, and I don't know that it would be the best service for our clients. So yeah, working from home, working on Zoom, creating classes that you can share online. We're certainly willing to help you with that, guide you, assist you, whatever it takes to support you in that. That's going to be the first stage of it. From there, we will be coming together to form local centers. So again, coming back to the idea of several people working out of a space. I do expect very shortly that there will be facilities available that were normally set up as medical facilities. As the medical system is taken apart, which is already happening, by the way, if you haven't noticed the hospitals being emptied, a lot of them are being emptied because the new technology is being prepared to be installed. So our major hospitals will have med beds. Our major centers will have these alternative things available within the building. Initially, there isn't any training available for people to run the med beds. It is going to be run by the military that are already trained to use them. The next step is the interesting one, that if you are a healer who is willing to work with this humanitarian project, you would be one of the first to experience the medbed experience. And by you going through it, first of all, being prepared for it with what we are doing, then experiencing it, going through rehab to see the challenges that come after it, what better ambassador for the process than someone who has already been through it? So the training will come by you experiencing it. So that's kind of exciting too. From there, we look at phase two. Phase two is where Mina comes in. She's had an incredible vision that she's been sharing with us about the building and all that is within it, the different therapy rooms, the meeting rooms, the meditation rooms, the children's therapy area, the water therapy, the library. There's a whole cafeteria area that people are being taught how to cook, supporting the cooking. There is huge greenhouses and gardens that are growing all year round. We know in Canada that's an essential part of what community requires right now. We need to be able to provide and supply our own food locally, healthy, clean, non-GMO, watered with clean water and seeds that are, natural seeds. So this is all a part of what is going to be required. Meeting rooms, therapy rooms. It's just it's a big project. The vision that I was given again for that is a facility that covers about 500 acres. Because part of that is also other therapies that are considered essential therapies, one being horse therapy, where horses are used to help people overcome fears and phobias. Also dogs will be implemented. And as part of that whole thing and the complex, there will be the, not the med beds, but the chambers for animals. So there will virtually be a new age vet system that has absolutely no vaccinations, no chemicals, no drugs. Dogs will be cared for, animals of all kinds will be cared for through that facility. So that excites me. I'm a farm girl. So that's part of my heritage. Yes, our own chickens too. We don't want to forget that. The chicken house that provides the chef's kitchen, and the chef will be teaching people how to cook healthy, good food as well. A nutritionist will be part of that process and involved in helping people feed their families properly. So phase three is all of 1 and 2, and also has the space already set up for the med beds in-house. And through that service, we will be able to take people in, do their transformational therapies, preparing them for the med bed experience. They will then enter the med bed experience and be healed, and then move to the recovery area, which has all kinds of physio. There's a pool to do physio in. There's saunas and workout areas, all kinds of things that are going to be needed to put people back into optimal health. Not just recover slightly, partly, partially, but absolute recreation of a human the way we're meant to be. Not too many of us get to experience that in life. So that is pretty much it. You know what, there's a whole lot of details here, but I'm not going to bore you with that. I think the information I've given you is enough to chew on for quite some time. If there's any questions, there's any suggestions, we're also open to that. A lot of you have wisdom that you also bring to the table, and we're highly respectful of that. And we do really appreciate anybody that wants to come forward and participate or contribute. What I can tell you is, and this is where it's going to, sort out a few people really quick. There's no pay. This is all being done in the name of humanity. And once the quantum system is in full effect, there's going to be enough money flowing into your account that you will never have to work another day in your life. I can explain more about that if you want. Just put it in the questions and I will expand on that. So it's not about having to work to support yourself or your family, to make a living, to live, to survive. It's truly working with the passion of who you are and what you bring to the table and what you bring to the world that is your gift. God gave you that gift. He sent you here with that gift, and that gift has a profound purpose. And for the most part, people have not been able to live that purpose because they couldn't afford to. We're going to wipe that out as an excuse. We're going to take it away as a reason for not happening. So I really trust that when you fully get in your heart and soul and spirit what that means, something inside of you is going to come alive that you haven't maybe touched on or experienced before. And that's where life gets really interesting in a hurry. So I'm happy for all of you, whether you choose to be a part of what we're doing or whether you just choose to share with others what we're doing and recommend that they might want to join us. That's okay too. There's no have to's, there's no requirements, there's no sign the contract here. There's just, it's between you and your creator. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Point me in that direction. And all you got to do is show up. So there you have it. So if there's questions in the comments or in the chat, I would more than willing to take some of those right now. Yvonne and Angel, if you're looking at some of the questions that you think are relevant, please just let me know.
So I haven't seen too much in the chat area in respect to our humanitarian project, but perhaps people can just raise their hands if they have a question, or while you're thinking about it now, throw it into the chat so Donna can quickly answer it, and either from the chat or raising your hand and speaking out to the group. That would be fantastic.
Don't be shy. There must be. Oh, there's Jody. Jody, unmute yourself, please. Oh, you're still silent, it sounds like.
Gotta love those buttons and trying to find them when you want them, eh?
And we still can't hear you, Jody.
Okay,
Yes.
hello, hello. Oh my
Hello.
goodness. You'd think I'd have this down packed. I've been doing this since 5 o'clock. Okay. I just want to say that Susan and Angel, Kit, they're friends of mine. We've known each other for a long time. They invited me to come on. And I'm very familiar with what you're talking about, as I have been engaged in alternative consciousness since I was 16. So one thing though, I looked at your map, your map of healing,
Yes.
and very comprehensive. Lots of places overlap, in my opinion.
Yes.
But it's beautiful. I love the colors. But one area that I think, just to stay open to the possibility, is to have some doulas in terms of birthing and babies and care.
Awesome.
Now, Ezra is working with that, right? With their clinics. They've got a lot of doulas, but I do think the whole process of pregnancy, I've been a psychotherapist for 40 years and I've just retired, and I did a lot of energy work. And I have worked with another number of people with, fertility issues. We're going to see a lot of that moving forward because of the jabs, and a lot of energetic corrections that may have to happen, and teaching mothers how to commune spiritually and telepathically with the soul that they are embodying and coming into the world. Because there are children now that are being birthed that are brilliant star beings. And it just was one thing in the map that I would have liked to see a satellite. And
Okay.
I think there's a lot of people that are very skilled in that. I'm not necessarily one of them, except from the emotional trauma point. But, so I just wanted to bring that to your attention to expand consideration on that map.
Okay. I am really glad you brought that up.
It might mean a partnership, right? Because
Yes.
to
Yes, I
build
believe a
things
partnership would-
is always about community building.
Yes.
That's the new design. But, to keep open to the possibility of who might be offering that, who might be doing it for referral,
Mhm.
as a satellite program or something. It's just
I
another.
think, yeah. Thank you for adding that. I think that is really important that we include it. What I can tell you is that one of the functions of the med bed is for painless childbirth. And women will have access to that by the end of this year. So
That is,
it's extraordinary, but it still requires preparation, because the whole pregnancy process has its own challenges, has its own energetic requirements. And of course, communicating with your child is going to be essential, because these kids are brilliant.
right.
And anyone that you can recommend, or if you would like to be a part of spearheading that part of the program, I would be just happy as can be to call you and have you on board.
Well, I looked at the map and there's a number of areas that I might be better skilled at. I'm just brainstorming with you when I look at the map, thinking of the holistic picture as we create this beautiful template.
Yes.
Right. And so those were some of my first thoughts to include that. I also just want to share, which I think is also part of a global viewpoint, is that groups are gathering to learn remote viewing, to be able to make group contact with our brothers, star brothers and sisters.
Yes.
These energies are coming in. They're gonna come in big time.
They're here.
Well, I know they're here, but I mean, you know, to mainstream people, they'll be like, what the hell's going on? Oh my God, we're being invaded. So I just think that there are room to maybe look at what that's about. And the other thing that really jumped out, which was, I know we talked about trauma, but, and I know we don't necessarily have to think about this quite in the same way, but a lot of people have death and grief trauma issues, especially about the physical body and dying. There, to me, there is a psychological preparation. The med beds, in my opinion, I'm just like brainstorming right now, cannot be the savior. People have to face their own stuff and come to a place of taking responsibility for co-creating with the med bed. I just don't think we can put people in and go, okay, you're all better now, go on and live your life and do everything you've done before, which I know that's not the intention with all the pre-screening and post-screening, right? It's like the birth thing. I will have to say, when I birthed my second child, it was painful and it was profound because the body knows how to do this. And there is something about the transition process of birthing a new being into the world that if it was totally painless, I just wonder what that would be like. Great. I mean, everybody wants that, but maybe that isn't in the highest good of everyone. It's a question. It's a question I have.
Yeah, it's about humanity and if they're willing to give up their pain for passion, because it's a very different energy. It's a different frequency and vibration.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that most women would be happy to give birth if it was orgasmic. Same amount of energy.
And yeah, and I, you know what? That is a beautiful stretch of consciousness that I totally respect. I'm just brainstorming because these are things that I'm thinking about as you speak. Like I'm a little out there. I have ideas coming out the wazoo. So when I'm listening to you talk, it's going into all sorts of directions.
Welcome to my world.
Curiosities. Yeah, for sure. It's a very exciting project and it is the movement of where we need to go. I totally am see the vision of that. Everybody here sees the vision of that. It is a big program.
It absolutely is.
It's a big program.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
Sorry. One thing Lynn Rogerson did she just sent it in private, but any of you, I would invite you to do it before we go to Trinity's question. She put, you know how you saw our list of things that all of us do? She gave me all the things that she does, which will be great because we're saving the chat. So like she put, where's Lynn? Lynn, can I just share it out loud? Or is that not okay? You can unmute yourself. I don't want to share something. Where's Lynn here?
Oh, she said yes.
Oh, okay. So she wrote Lynn, and then she has intuitive empath, Reiki master, reflexology, sound healing, hypnosis, intuitive massage. So if any of you have those specific gifts that you know you already have, that might be able to be part of the whole humanitarian project, or something that you know you can contribute in any other way, please pop it in there, because then we'll have a tally, even though we'll still be connecting with you. And then Trinity had a question.
Okay.
Trinity, unmute yourself.
There we go. You hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Let me get my video on here. There we go. Hi, everyone. My question is pertaining to location of the wellness centers. who decides that? Is it just those of us that want to open a center? Will, like North Bay, for example, I've always seen myself in a center up north. Is there some written protocol that says we can have one center in a city? They have to be 50 kilometers apart. Just
There are no limits.
okay, logistically doesn't matter.
There's so many people that are going to be
Needing.
requiring service, and there's so many therapists that are already trained. There are hundreds of thousands of us, and we're all in little dots all over the world. I can remember one time coming home and in the middle of the night looking up at the sky, seeing all the stars, and I just got so incredibly homesick. And I just started to cry, and I said to the universe, why am I here? Look at the beauty of the stars. And what I heard was, what you see when you look at the stars is what we see when we look at Earth right now, as all of you are being activated and awakened.
Beautiful.
Yes. So there is the equal amount. Those that have been preparing to help are equal to those who are allowing the help to happen.
Okay. Wonderful.
So it will pair up in communities all over. We're creating a blueprint that can be taken anywhere. We do not claim ownership of that blueprint. That's God's blueprint. And it can be incorporated anywhere on the planet.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Lynn, we've got some work to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for being a part of it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay, there's somebody, Nisha.
Hello, everybody. Donna, thank you so much. Helen, thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. When you asked if anybody knew about MedBeds, I think 2 people put their hand up. I should have put my hand up because I still don't know what MedBeds are. I thought I knew. I have to also say I've had a vision, like in terms of coming up with what I would love to see with the communities that I belong to, of this kind of healing centers and people working on healing themselves and each other. But it feels like this vision of the future all of a sudden is here. So you're
Yes.
presenting something that's actually here, and it's kind of like really blowing my mind a little bit. So
Yes.
I'm a little bit freaked out right now just because it's so huge.
Mhm.
And I almost believe like I'm making this up, but I know you people are all real. I can't touch you, but yeah, so I feel very much aligned with all of the things that you're saying, so many of the things. And Helen knows I've been working on this for 30 years alongside her sometimes. My one question is, and maybe it's not an appropriate question, but my one question is, would these med beds help people detox the vax? Is that something that it would do? Maybe we don't know, maybe we do know. I would
We do
love-
know.
We do. Tell me it's a yes.
It is. It is an absolute yes.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. So I
Now,
would
the
love
challenge
to.
that comes with that is part of the side effects of the vax is to disconnect the soul from the source.
Right.
So the challenge will be is getting a reconnection to happen with a soul that may or may not be willing. That is going to be a challenge. We know that, but apparently the US military has developed an anti-vax that neutralizes every vaccine that has ever been given. So how long that's going to take to be unavailable, I don't know. So we have 2 ways of dealing with it. One, they can go in and have the anti-vax process, which will then help them reconnect. So then our process would be more appealing to them. Remember, this is all voluntary. So in order for somebody to want to have this medbed experience, they're going to have to want to reconnect.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
it's
they'll have.
a bunch of us being through the process are going to be an inspiration to them. It's like to be able to see people that have not only dreamed of having it happen, have been through the process of learning how it can happen, entering into the medbed experience and having it happen, and to see them afterwards. This is where the ones that will be standing back, unsure, afraid, that will be an inspiration. So on that level, not only are we healers stepping forward to do the work, we're healers stepping forward to be the ones to experience it, to show them how it works. So it's pretty extraordinary.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Well,
Exciting.
thank you for being here. Okay. Anyone else?
I don't
Oh,
have-
Trinity's got her, oh, sorry, Diana. Trinity's
Okay.
got her hand up again too.
So sorry. No, I just wanted to add that I did about the vax. I did listen to a lady. She had a vision too about the vax and what's going to happen. And it's all about the admitting and willingness, admitting
Yes.
for the vaccinated people, admitting that, like, changing the consciousness and will, like Donna said, willingness.
Yeah.
To shed all of this and to heal.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a sentence for life, for sure.
It's not a punishment. And
No.
it's not something that is forever. It can be if that's what they feel they deserve. And many people will choose that. We have no ability to override that. So
Yeah, because it does stop the evolution to the light a little bit. It
Yeah.
slows it down, and if you can kind of like you can stop it if you do not want to.
Yeah.
Keep
if
working
you're
on
if you're
yourself.
not willing, God's honoring and respecting that. And that one kind of backfires a little bit. But you know what? Every human being is here for their own growth and development. So there's no right or wrong. It just is what it is. So thank you for that, Yana. Trinity had another question.
I'm not sure because the hand went down. Trinity, did you have another question?
No, I didn't. I just didn't lower my hand from the initial question. Thank you.
All right.
Any
Okay.
other questions amongst anybody? Kit?
There is some questions in the chat box.
Okay.
So
There's a question from Dennis.
Dennis had a question. Is there any groups associated quantum healing in Florida? She's looking to see if there's anything set up in Florida yet, but
As far as I know, we're the only one that has set up this concept for quantum healing. I'm not saying we are the only ones. We're the only ones I am aware of. You will find in the USA a lot of different communities that are set up with similar ideas, not necessarily pertaining to the med beds, but under Simon Park's group. So if you go on to Simon Park's in BitChute or in Telegram, you will find all kinds of information, and he builds communities. He's got all kinds of them in the US. As a matter of fact, he is based in the UK. And from what I understand, in the next few months, he is actually moving to the US because there are so many groups in the US right now. So that tells you right there that people are building the network, they're building their communities, the ideas are there, and they're growing quickly. The moment the quantum system is triggered, which, like I said, can be any day now, all this funding and everything is going to be available in the blink of an eye. So there's going to be scrambling on every level, in every community, everywhere, trying to get something up and running. I'm looking at it and saying, we're not waiting for the funding. We are going to be providing the services and create the network to prepare so that we're all ready to go when this happens. And that takes commitment on our part to do the work, do the time, make the commitment, and show up we do weekly meetings on Tuesday nights. It's about staying with it, whether you want to build your own or whether you want to be a part of what we're building, and telling other people, we need the network right now. We need support. We need the people. Yes, Yana.
So I was just actually thinking, I was guiding to started recording different breathing technique, and we have like a library on YouTube. I don't want to share it to public because I was gonna use it to actually for people to sign up to learn.
Yes.
But and I will be charging for that to have the whole, I don't know how many different sessions each week for a breath work and breath techniques and because it comes with other stuff anyway. But would you like me to like keep sending it to you, Donna? Do you have a library that you would like me to start collecting for the future? Or
if you want to build a library, Yana, that would be a really good part of contributing to what we're doing. I think that's a great idea. And
I know you said you're going to be charging for the MedBest, but right now it is my part of the business to set up classes and courses that will be.
Right, so that will remain part of your community that you do at your end. If you want to donate some of what you're doing to a library we can use, that's fine. But as far as charging any fees, no, we would not be doing that.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's good. Thank you. Anyone else? We're doing well. Thank you very much, people, for just hanging in there with us. Trinity,
So
yeah.
I think just
sorry.
building off what Janet just said, it's important for everyone to understand this is a humanitarian project, and when people come through our process, they will not be paying. Everything is free. It's not charged. None of our services will cost any money to the people coming through. So I think I think what Yana was saying is something totally different than what our group is preparing for and setting up, because it's free of charge for everybody. I think I just wanted to kind of put that in.
That's what makes us different than any other thing that is being done. It is being done for the good of humanity.
Right.
People donating things as far as contributing to the library, I see that as a gift we can use and would be grateful for. But, anything that is being done as a business would not be part of what we're offering.
There's another hand, Donna. Nisha.
Nisha?
Hi. Yeah, my question is, so what is the process or the next step if this was resonating with someone, with anyone on the Zoom? What is the next step? Is it the Tuesday night Zoom calls? Is it figuring out how you're able to contribute, or what your skill set are? Like, what's the next step?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because we actually have a button on our website that says, I'm interested. And when you go to our website and click that, you will be provided with the steps that you can go through to kind of fill out what it is that you're interested in contributing or being a part of or sharing, to what degree. Whether you want to set it up as your own community, that's one way, or to be part of our community is another way. So yeah, go to our website, find that button. It's actually really pretty. Yvonne worked a long time on it, so I'd like to see somebody push that button.
I will
push the button.
We don't have, we've been doing a lot of clogging the parts of the clogs of the wheel for intensely. The actual thank you letter isn't ready. So even if you kind of resonate and would like more information, even just put I'm in, would like to know more in the chat box, and then also go to the website, because what it did if you go to the website, that actually goes on to an email list in an actual autoresponder. So we're actually really setting all of that up in the back end as well. But please pop it in the chat now to say, yep, I'm interested, or whatever you want to say, just so we know you'd like to be included. Yana?
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, again, I know it's a humanitarian project, and I totally understand it needs to be free for people, when when the funds come through. But right now, as we are building the community, we still need to obviously pay rent somewhere, or how is, like, the vision of having a center. Do we wait till the money comes through, or how is that gonna be supported?
If you want to build your own community and get your funding, you can apply to the humanitarian fund. And that way it will be supported through that. Yeah, but as far as the work that we are doing at the level that I've been asked to do, it is a lot of what is being asked of people is voluntary, which is very much directly connected to their heart. And the humanitarian work is all about people who are willing to work from the heart. And not to say that what you're doing isn't from the heart, that's not what it's about. But there's a certain level of giving of self that is building this vision. And it's very different than what we're used to in any other structure, community format that we have ever done on the planet. It's very different. It's just trusting that when you work with someone in our program, you will find that business will be sent to you in other ways that you cannot imagine, and you will be busier than you've ever want to be with people who do want to pay you. But your service, when it is given from the heart, is what opens that abundance and opens those opportunities to come in other ways. But it's having the heart that is willing to support what's doing. I don't even want to use the word sacrifice, because that's not what it is. It's just a complete wholehearted giving of self to the humanitarian project.
So I'm just saying, like, that's why we are starting from home, no overhead, kind of.
Correct. Yes. Or you're already in a place where you have other clients that can support the odd one that's coming through from the program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody else had their question. I think how do you pronounce your name, Dennis?
Yep, that'd be me. Misha kind of had part of my question as to what is the next step for follow-up. But my personal question would be, if I was invited in to attend, I believe the people that have invited me see things in me that I don't see in myself. I don't have any type of resume that I could put out and say, hey, I fit into any one of those. I have no idea what I could do, but I'm very much open to being part and parcel of this humanitarian project.
I need to jump in. I need to jump in. I need to jump in, Dennis.
Go, Helen.
You are a fucking firefly, okay? You know how to light up a room when you walk in. So don't tell me you got nothing, because you got tons of it and you're just glowing. Just having your face, your presence in a center alone, the greeter, whatever, wear that butterfly costume you wore in the summertime. Like, don't you even go there.
I got lots of vibe.
You do. That's what I'm saying. Like, when I saw your name, I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, what a great fit. What a great asset to have to our team. Like, I'm so delighted. So, sorry, I just hijacked the.
Yeah, Kid and I are going to second and third that too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. Quick question.
For sure.
Fourthing it.
Fifthing it.
Fifthing it. We're all on that.
You're a little firefly. We'll give you that little machine, whatever you call that, driving around. Like, you've got such leader qualities. Like, just shut up.
Yeah.
And another note, Donna, while I'm going to hijack this, is the map. Was that sent out to everyone, or can you put it up somewhere? Because I think that will kind of give a gauge for people to look at. So I don't know if anybody took a screenshot of it, but can you put it up somewhere?
It's on our website.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll shut up now.
Jody?
Could you give me the website?
It's way back. Okay, I'll just post it again. It was posted.
Sorry.
way
And
up
just in
there.
response to, while Yvonne's doing that, in response to, I don't know what I can do and I'm not really qualified. Here's what happens with our project, our humanitarian project. It is actually preferred, not mandatory, but preferred that that you are not accredited. That's the preference, because then we don't have to untrain the things that you have been indoctrinated into. Be an inspiration. That's all you need to be. That to me is the leader of the new world. Be an inspiration. Be someone who steps forward, walks the walk, talks the talk, moves in that direction. And you know what? I'm sure most of your life you felt like you were the back of the line. And today God is saying, turn around. Because now you're the front of the line and you don't have to worry about anybody behind you. Just keep walking. That's your gift that you bring to the world, and it's priceless.
I've
Thank
never
you.
felt at the back of the line. I've always felt at the front of the line and not knowing what I'm doing. And I just keep going.
Yep. Keep walking. That's all you got to do. Keep walking. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Anyone else? We're kind of getting to the time. We're done.
Jody,
Yes.
Jody.
Yeah.
Jody.
Okay, just my last question. Am I plugged in? Am I muted? Okay.
Yeah,
Nope,
you're
you're
good.
good.
Is it, I know this is very 3D, but again, might be valuable. Do you have someone on your team, and it's not me because I'm technologically illiterate, but is it important on some level to have somebody documenting data management of the number of people? I know it's part of probably pre and post assessment in terms of keeping a log, because you guys have been working at this for a while. The map is up, you're moving forward. Other centers are going to need information on how to do what you've already done. And then as the program rolls, how many people come through? What are the ages? What are the issues? Like, is somebody, or is it not even necessary in this quantum world?
It is already being documented as
Great
they go
learning
through,
session period.
which is pretty amazing.
Okay, awesome. I just was curious about that.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes up in our statistics, and it comes up in different categories of
Yep.
where the interest is and where people
Great
are
learning session.
needing more and less of the help.
Yep, yeah. Just the types of issues even that come in, how successful is the treatment, like just, keeping tabs on that. As an energy worker and studying EFT, emotional freedom technique, at the beginning roots, now it's still 3D. Sometimes it's really difficult when you don't have data behind you or some research information,
Yeah.
I don't know if that's relevant in this new model. It could be just a bunch of bullshit, right? I don't know.
I feel that it is extremely relevant, and I really thank you for bringing that up, because to me, as the practitioners themselves go through the process, it will be very much documented and videoed and blogged, so that the whole experience is in, I won't say personal detail, but in inspirational detail.
Yeah. Okay. I just was wondering how that worked. Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna,
Okay.
I was gonna just comment because I know you'll probably then end it.
Yeah.
And I am part of the team, but for those of you that and what you said, Dennis, quite honestly, and Donna knows me like probably almost 30 years now. When she invited me to join, I sat back and went like, what am I gonna do? So truly, and I think there's a few others on our team that initially felt like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And yet somehow our gifts get pulled out of us. So even though I do have other certifications and stuff, but I don't know if I'm even gonna use them. but I have been able to help with the website or taking notes or, all the other things. Angel's like being the administrator and, sending out emails. And there's always stuff like that that needs to do. I mean, as we grow, needing an administrative assistance that will have to take on more and more of that, back end work with a smile and with enthusiasm and love and, stuff like that. Every single little bit counts.
And every person is equally important. It doesn't matter, whether you're pulling weeds in the garden out front or, working away at body work at the back. Everyone has equal value, equal purpose, equal vision, and equal respect. That's what New Community is all about. Yeah. And on that note, unless there's any other questions. There is someone.
Kay, do you have a question, Kay? Oh, she just was going to buy, I think.
Oh, okay. All right.
Dennis.
Go ahead.
Unmute, Dennis.
Yeah, my question is when you had mentioned that you don't have to worry about the number of people. It's a 30-minute med bed treatment and that's it. It sounds to me that there's a whole scope of supporting healing that goes along with a treatment.
Yes.
Is there a time frame or is there?
Everyone is different. Everyone will be unique. Some will need more than others. And everyone will need different. Like you're not going to be going through that whole map. You personally, when you finish your assessment treatment, will be allocated to certain things that will be the best possible use of energy, time, and effort to help you get to that place where your frequency, and this is what it's all about, where your frequency of belief that you can heal is in alignment with the med bed.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, you're not judging, you're not fearing, you're in alignment with having it done, and your heart just embraces the healing. So that's the kind of work we need to do, is to have someone overcome their fear of what's going to happen, or any judgments that they hold inside towards themselves, that they're not worth it, or they can't believe it, or they can't help it. They can't help themselves. You really,
is there,
go ahead.
Is there any data or like what is happening to the cells of the being during the healing process through the Tesla? Like what
is actually happening is your cells, every cell in your body has the entire blueprint of your entire being.
Right.
The cellular level is being taken back to your original DNA. Done.
Perfect.
Everything corrects. Missed organs, amputations, brain aneurysms, autism, everything that the human experience has had in the way of physical suffering or imbalance is corrected.
And is there an explanation as to how that is done? Is that just done through vibration?
It's done through frequency and vibration, yes. Quantum energy is very different than what we are able to comprehend at this point. So
everything's energy.
In the human experience, it's going to be witnessing it and experiencing it. It's going to teach us about it. Because right now we don't have the capacity to comprehend it.
Mm-hmm.
So it will be literally hands-on in the field, doing the research, becoming what it is, and seeing other people and how it works for them.
So if we're looking at a physical bricks and mortar location,
yes,
and there's, you mentioned you think this is the only blueprint for, I guess, North America.
For this type of support system,
right.
As far as I know right now, this is the only blueprint. It doesn't mean it is. It's just in my awareness, and with God giving me this whole vision and all the information, I can't imagine that he's not giving it to someone else.
Right.
And quite honestly, I hope he does. I don't know about you, but I don't think we can handle the whole planet. I really hope he does give it to others, or maybe that's my job, is to take what we have been creating together and give it to as many as I can. That's okay.
Beautiful.
That's
Okay, great.
There's
Thank
no
you.
ownership here of that.
No, it's just.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Oh, everybody's disappearing. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of our share. I hope it was worthwhile for you. I hope somewhere inside your heart there's been an inspiration to at least consider being a part of what we're doing and sharing the message. Because like I said, we need as many people to support this as we can, but we need it by referral. We need people who genuinely align to what it is that we are doing and not just think maybe they might. No, we need somebody that's heart is so full right now with the idea of serving mankind that they just have a place, they need a place to share it. So thank you so much, everyone.
Yana.
Yes. Oh,
Just, is it a meeting? So if somebody would like to join, can they start coming to the meeting like next week? What's happening with, like,
again, it's
where
going to
do we
depend
go?
on what we have in response as to how we continue to go forward. And what we're hoping to do is to start seeing people coming in similar interests so that we can subgroup you together. So instead of all you people wanting to work with emotional issues aren't sitting there listening to people working with body issues. We really want to fast track this as quickly as we can so that the subgroups can form their own communities of, oh, this is what we need to do and this is how we need to do it. These are the rooms we need. This is the equipment we need. This is the place where we feel it's the most logistically correct or available right now to do it. It's basically taking what we've done as a whole and putting it into a smaller version that still builds that component of people working together. Teams, little teams. So we'll keep people posted, and when there's more information available, we will either email it to you or you have access to our Facebook page. I don't know about the website right now, whether it will be set up at this point to do community work together. I would say that's more allocated to our Facebook page for now.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. For as long as
Facebook.
they allow us, because Quantum apparently gets us kicked out of places quickly, unfortunately. So we're doing our best to make sure that we're out there and that we're available. All right, everyone, truly appreciate it. And
Team members, can you just stay on for a second after everybody else signs off, just for a wrap up, please?
Okay.
Just a quick one, Donna.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we've had a
Thank
long
you. Good night.
Thanks you
Thank
so much for
you.
being part of it. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you very
everyone.
much.
Good night.
All right, good
Good night.
Everyone.